Whether you work in third-party property management or for an owner-operator, building trust with the people you report to is so critical. I will use the word client because Taurus is third party, but these skills apply to any professional, really in commercial real estate. In fact, one of the key ingredients I see in management companies and individuals that operate at the top 10% of our industry is that they're wizards at manufacturing trust. And I say manufacturing on purpose because manufacturing is like building something, and like anything that you can intentionally build, you can intentionally build the skills behind it. And trust is all just a set of skills. Now, beyond general success, there are many practical reasons why building trust is so important. First, fundamentally, us managers cannot deliver our value if our clients don't trust we'll manage the property like it's our own. No trust equals no peace of mind, and no peace of mind is no purpose in what we do. Second, a lack of trust breeds micromanagement. And we all know what it's like to work for a boss or a client that's micromanaging. It's absolutely terrible. So no trust equals no autonomy. And third, if you're good at what you do for your work, you're an advisor to your client, and you cannot advise those who do not trust you. And this reminds me of a book from Daniel Pink. And he articulates there are three driving forces to human motivation, and they are purpose, autonomy, and mastery. Those are the three things we just noted. And so quite literally, building trust is one of the most important meta skills we can learn because it's the foundation that all of the other important things are built on. Now, there are many things you can do to build trust, but I've distilled this whole area into 6 key specific subsections that I've seen property management professionals struggle with. Number 1, look like a professional. No matter the medium, every interaction you should have with a client gives the impression that you are a professional. Special attention should be made to all aspects of your appearance, and it starts with your dress and body language. If in doubt, dress nicer and move slower. Now, your digital appearance is just as important, otherwise known as what do your emails look like? You may brush this over, but it's really important, and I frequently see people sending terrible emails and weird spacing, improper punctuation, and bad spelling. Now, how you speak is also important. Honing the skill of coming off as an authority in the space is a really important thing. And that's the vocabulary, tone, cadence. It's art of communication. Imagine for a moment you've worked in a big law firm downtown for the last 10 years. Take that air of professionalism and bring it into your day-to-day. And it's not arrogance, it's professionalism. Number 2, communicate first. Landlords should be continually reminded that things are getting done without requiring their input. The most important element there is that things are getting done. But the second piece is all about communicating first. This means 9 times out of 10, client communication is initiated by us, not the other way around. Regular touch points via meetings or phone calls and simple FYI emails are all tools that should be used frequently to reinforce this. Poor management companies do things when asked, but great management companies do things proactively, either out of experience or from systems and processes, and then communicate important touch points with clients. This means being timely in our responsiveness, doing a good job, and then ensuring they know that. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Number 3, know your numbers. Knowing your numbers is the best way to show you are on it. It's easy to talk around in circles. It's much harder to know the square feet of a unit, the renewal date of a lease term, how many months a tenant has left in their fixturing period. Numbers and facts cut through the noise. Tactical takeaway is that before every important meeting is to take 2 minutes and look at 3 to 5 key metrics that might be pertinent to the issue you're discussing. And believe me, nothing feels better than a client saying, "What's the square footage?" And you quickly saying without breaking eye contact, "It's 1281. And then what's the additional rent? 1342. By the way, a sub-skill here of knowing your numbers is doing math quickly in your head. It makes some people scared, but knowing off the top of your head that unit that's 1281 square feet at a $30 base rent, at that $13 additional rent is roughly $4,500 a month in gross rent. Nothing impresses a landlord more than knowing your numbers and being quick in your head. Being quick at math is maybe optional, but being prepared and knowing your numbers isn't. And number 4, do hard things. I remember when I was 19 and running a painting business, none of my painters would deal with bees nests. It's probably because I paid them $12 an hour and it wasn't worth getting stung and falling off a ladder. And so naturally, that was my job. And in essence, all the hard stuff was my job. Now, in this business, we don't get paid $12 an hour and we don't leave bees nests for our clients. Doing hard things is simply an amazing way to show you care for your work. These are things that may be uncomfortable to do, but are in the best interest for our clients. This could be negotiating a price down, talking to a tenant about a signage that you just don't want to do, or administering a demand notice that doesn't feel great. Our work can be difficult, and landlords need to trust that we don't aim to take the easy route like most humans do. We often take the path of least resistance, and so we need to demonstrate that we don't. We do the hard stuff. That builds trust. Number 5 is follow through. Words are cheap. 90% of our role requires undiscussed activities that our clients do not know that we do. That means 90% of our role has no oversight. And it also means that the 10% that does, we need to execute on. Because if we don't, the perception is, what are they doing with that other 90%? Nothing erodes trust like not following through on the things that we said we were going to do. This can be very disconcerting to a landlord, and it's super common. We've all caught ourselves committing to something in person only to not find the time to execute on. The key here is A, being careful to what we commit to, and B, being relentless about follow through. And I really mean relentless. Number 6, speak the truth. Do not discount this as obvious. Of course, not lying is the most obvious way to build trust. But if it was so obvious, why is it that most people struggle to actually execute on explicitly telling the truth? There are 3 categories I think of when it comes to trust building and truth. And I encourage you to think deeply about each of them and then reconcile how you approach these in your given week. So number one is willingness to disagree, providing an alternative point of view different to the client's. That's easier said than done, but that's telling the truth sometimes. The second thing is never saying something you don't know to be true. And so sometimes you might think something's true or it's secondhand, but if you don't know it's true, don't say it. Everything out of your mouth every single time should be a fact. The third thing is admitting mistakes. A thing I like to think about is that if I'm not admitting a mistake every once in a while to a client, there's probably something wrong. We make mistakes all the time because everybody does. And property management is 1,000 different tasks. So there's a lot of volume there to make mistakes. It's important to let our clients know sometimes, yeah, we messed that up, we messed that up, we messed that up. But hey, we fix this, we fix this, we fix this. And so that's it. Look like a professional, communicate first, know your numbers, do hard things, follow through, and speak the truth.